Welcome to Bald Guy Investing, where we help you build a secure financial future through smart, data-driven strategies. In today's video, we'll be exploring how to maximize returns with discounted notes, a powerful tool to grow your wealth while reducing risk. Whether you're new to investing or looking for a fresh approach, this beginner's guide will show you how discounted notes can outperform traditional investments. Let's dive in.
Hi. Maximizing returns with discounted notes. I'm going to give you a beginner's guide today. Now, investing in notes, most people just don't know the ins and outs of it at all. And so they misunderstand a lot of things about it. One of the things I want to get through to you today is the very simple and easy to understand aspect of notes, one at a time. So what are discounted notes? It's very simple. They're notes that have a face value, and you're paying less than that face value for the note. It's simple. And when you do that, you're entitled to all the payments. Simple. Now, one of the things that it has is equity in it. So when you buy the note, you're making a much increased profit because of that discount. So we're going to go through those things now. So how do discounted notes work? Well, it's pretty simple. When you buy a discounted note, you get a right to the payments. Simple, right? And when the bigger the discount, the bigger the profit. For example, if you pay $80,000 for a $100,000 note, you got a 20% or $20,000 discount. That increases your profits right there. Better yet, the payment you receive the interest is based on the face value of the note, not what you paid for it. So you're making even more profit. Why invest in discounted notes, you ask? Number one, and number two, and number three is higher returns, and it's safer than the stock market. Now, when I say safer than the stock market averages about 7% over the long haul. So that counts highs and lows together. However, when you invest, you can expect returns beginning at around 10%. Stock market, like I said earlier, averages around 7%. Now, I want to make something perfectly clear. I have been investing in discounted notes of all kinds, first, second, third, and even fourth, since 1977. I have yet to have a return less than 10%. Most of them are 12 to 15%, give or take. All right. Now, if it pays off early, you get a bigger return. If it pays off early and you had to foreclose, a double whammy, you really can make some money if you bought the note correctly. It has reduced risk. Unlike stocks, when they go down, they go down. And if you're nearing retirement, you may find yourself starting with a lesser retirement income than you had planned. But when you buy a discounted note, you get guaranteed, because you have a secured property against any problems. So if they stop making payments and you have to go through the headache of foreclosure, and trust me, it's a headache, but it's well worth it. I've made 3,000% on a couple of notes. Now, I'm not saying that's regular. I've done it on 2 notes in 50 years. So it is what it is. But you are far more secure and making a higher rate than the stock market. Real world examples here. Now, Marion bought a discounted note and she made 10%, which beat the stock market with more security at 7%. If you want to really secure your investments, buy discounted notes. Keep your money out of the stock market. The history of buying discounted notes is documented everywhere you look, just like the stock market is, right? And the key is Even when real estate goes down and you have to foreclose, you're making 10% or more. A lot of times I've gotten returns of over 40%. It doesn't hurt, believe me, getting started with discounted notes. You need to get yourself educated about them. And when it comes down to it, you'll discover that they're far more secure than the stock market. You got to do some due diligence. And you'll find that once you discover all the exact numbers, the value of the property behind the notes in front of it, the difference in equity, you'll be far more equipped to buy notes. What you also want to do is try to evaluate the note payer's credibility and credit readiness. They might be selling because the guy's constantly late, which is not exactly a bad thing if you're buying it with enough equity behind you. Self-management versus hiring a note management firm. Bottom line is, if you know how to manage them, you're saving the fees charged by the management people. Simple as that. On the other hand, it can be a gigantic pain where you sit. Now, I didn't hire one my first time because I knew the guy. I knew where the property that secured it was. Everything was perfect. Didn't have to worry about it. But everyone since then, since 1977, I've hired a management company and I know exactly what I'm doing. Let's talk about types of performing notes, okay? Well, you can have a totally performing note, which is the guy's making his payments. He's never been late or hardly ever. He's got plenty of equity in it. You bought it at a nice discount and you're home free. Let's talk about non-performing notes now. These notes are in default. The note is not being paid. Payments aren't coming in. You've got to find out why. But the top side to this is that there's a big potential profit, because if you're buying it from the owner of that note who's given up and doesn't want to foreclose, you can take it over at a larger discount than normal by far. I've bought notes at 40 and 50% and then sold it and paid all the back taxes and everything and still doubled my money. So you have to understand what you're getting into. And a lot of times what seems horrible is just fine. Now let's talk about first position notes. And then we'll talk about second and third position notes. People get all excited when you're not in first position. And it's a false fear, I think. And the reason is, I can have a first trust deed note that I got a 20% discount on, and yet the equity behind me is only 10%. And I'm worse off than having a fourth with 35% equity behind it. You follow me? So don't go so much by first, second, third, fourth, whatever. It's a matter of understanding what makes a no safe and what makes you want to pass. Your next question is, well, where do I find these notes? Well, I got to give you my advice. Go ahead and look. You can find note brokers, banks, credit places. Every place, including the people you know, might have one they want to sell. But if you're not sure of every single part of that note, you should hold off until you have somebody who knows what they're doing assess it. I cannot underline that enough. I'll conclude with this today. Purchasing discounted notes comes with all the knowledge that you must have: where to buy them, what makes them safe, what makes them a little risky, what maybe might allow you to demand a higher discount, etc., etc. What I don't want you to do fire off and go buy one and then come to me and say, hey, I've got a problem here. Now, the bottom line is if you buy discounted notes and you've got good advice, you're going to increase your retirement income manyfold. So you've heard a little about notes today. Are you ready to buy? Are you thinking about investing in them? We have many people, including myself, on my team who has their own notes, notes that groups we've bought notes, etc., etc. And we've been selling those notes for a long time, and everybody's been making money. Not one person has lost money. Everybody's made 10% or more. Now, if you are interested, give the bald guy a call.
Thank you for watching today's video on discounted notes. Ready to take the next step towards securing your financial future? Schedule a consultation with Jeff at schedule.baldguyinvesting.com. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more expert investing tips, and drop any questions you have in the comments below. We're here to help you invest smarter and retire wealthier.